Okay, now we're going to move on to solving some more complicated equations that have variables on both sides. These are still multi-step equations. You're going to do lots of operations. So how do we solve these? First thing we want to do is definitely clear your parentheses, which means distribute, and combine like terms. Now remember, you can only combine like terms that are on the same side of the equal sign. Once you've done that, our next step, and this part's new, we're going to go ahead and add and subtract our variable terms so that our variable is all on one side. Then we do our add, subtract, multiply, divide. So let's take a look at our first example and see what we can come up with here. So we're going to go ahead and solve this equation. First, I'm going to drop my line down and I'm going to take a look at just the left side. Is there anything that's alike that I can combine? No. I don't have more than one x there. I don't have more than one plain old number, so I can't combine anything. I'm going to look at the right side. Is there anything I can combine there? No. I don't have the same variables there, or I don't have more than just one plain old number, so I can't combine anything. So I'm going to go back to step number 2. So it says go ahead and make a collection of all your variables. So I'm going to just practice moving all of my variables from the right side to the left side, and I'm going to be consistent with that each and every time. And you can choose to move whichever variable you want, but I'm going to show you always moving the right side variable over to the left. So in this case, I have positive 4x. If I want to remove positive 4x, I need to do its opposite sign. So that opposite would be to subtract 4x. Because if I added 4x, then I'd have 8x's there, and I want them to disappear. Keep in mind, whatever you do on the right side, you must also do to the left side. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 4x's over here too. And notice that I put it right underneath the other x term, because I'm really combining like terms now that they're on the same side. So I'm going to bring down my 7. I haven't done anything with that yet. And then I have negative 3x minus 4x. So I want to think about my integers, and you might want to pull out your calculator to work just with the coefficients so you get the value correct. So minus 3 minus 4 is going to be negative 7x equals. My 4x and my negative 4x cancel each other out, and I bring down that entire minus 7. Don't forget that minus sign. Next, I'm going to go ahead and I see a two-step equation. So I'm going to go ahead and move my constants to the right side now. So I'm going to take 7 away from the left side. If I do it on the left, I must also take it from the right. 7 minus 7 is 0, so that canceled out. But I want to bring down everything that includes that minus sign. And what do I have on the other side? Negative 7 minus 7 is negative 14. Go ahead and divide by negative 7 on both sides, and we'll get x equals a positive 2. And again, I would really encourage you to use your calculator when you're working with these integers and combining your like terms. It's easy to mistake a minus sign or leave one out, so double check with your calculator. Of course, we can verify. So on this space over here, I'm going to go ahead and verify. I think my answer is 2, but you know what? I'm never sure until I check. So I have 7 minus 3 plug in 2 should equal 4 plug in 2 minus 7. So let's see. Make sure you follow your order of operations. I see a minus and I see that invisible multiplication dot. I've got to do the multiplication first. So I have 7 minus 6 equals 4 times 2 is 8 minus 7. So let's see. 7 minus 6 is 1. 8 minus 7 is 1. That's a true statement. We must have gotten our equation correct. Let's take a look at a second one. Whoa, this looks crazy. There's a lot of steps here, but you know what? We're going to take it one step at a time. So I'm going to draw my line down, my equal sign. And I'm going to go ahead and look at the left side. Do I have anything there that I combine? No. Let's look at the right side. Do I have combinations here? No, but I do see parentheses. So that means we're going to go ahead and distribute. Keep in mind when we're distributing, we're multiplying. So I have 1 times 16, that's just 16. And 4, I'm going to put a little 1 underneath here. So I remember I'm practicing my fractions. So this is going to be 16 over 4x plus 1 times 60 is 60. Again, put it over 1 so I can work with the fraction. 4 times 1 is 4. I'm going to simplify these fractions because they look like they go evenly. So 16 divided by 4 is 4, plus 60 divided by 4 is 15. So by working with the fractions, we cleared it out. I've got no decimals here. I'm going to put my equal sign down because we haven't done anything with the left side yet. All right, so your first step, you distributed. Our second step, now I see I have variables on both sides. So what did we talk about last time? We said we're going to take all of the variables from the right side and move them to the left side. So I'm going to take my 4x's here and move them out of there, move them to the other side. So I want them to disappear from the right side. So I already have positive 4x. To make positive 4x disappear, I'm going to subtract 4x. And again, I'm going to line it up underneath the other x term so that I'm really combining what's alike. So I have 9x's, take away 4x's. That gives me 5x's there. 4 minus 4, 0, plus 15. Next step is that two-step equation, adding or subtracting. So I'm going to go ahead and add 5 to both sides, moving my constants over to the right. And we get 5x equals 20. Divide by 5 on both sides, we'll get x equals 4. Now again, I circled it because I think that's my answer, but I really don't know until I verify, and we are going to verify this, especially because it has a fraction, and we want to practice working with the fraction. So wherever I see an x, I'm going to replace it with 4, and let's see how we do. So we've got 9, plug in 4, minus 5 equals 1/4 times 16 times 4 plus 60. On the left side, order of operations, 9 times 4 is 36 minus 5. I'm going to keep working on that left side and clean it up. So 36 minus 5 is 31. Let's see what we get on the other side. Work within your parentheses first. So I have 16 times 4. 16 times 4 is 64. So I have 1/4 parentheses 64 plus 60. I'm going to keep working within the parentheses. 64 plus 60 is going to be 124. And then I'm almost done. Let's see, I have 31 from the left side, and I'm going to go ahead and work with my fractions. I'm going to put 124 over 1 and see what we get. When I multiply straight across the top, I get 124. On the bottom, I get 4. And now I'm not really sure about this. I'm going to pull out my calculator and do 124 divided by 4. And when I calculate that, I get 31. So that's a long verification. But if you use your calculator and you work step by step, you'll see that you get a true statement at the end. So our equation is correct with the ones we solved. Great job. Now this is a problem. Multi-step. We're going to take it one step at a time. Line down your equal sign. And let's go ahead and look at the left side. I see parentheses. They have to get cleared before I do any combination. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute. 3x plus 12 minus x. If I only have an x, I really have 1x. So I'm going to go ahead and put my coefficient there, the number right in front of the 1. I'm going to stay on this left side and keep combining because I see I have multiple x's there. So I have 3x minus 1x. That's going to give me 2x plus 12. And that's all I can do on the left side for right now. So I'm going to stop right there and go ahead and look at the right side. I see parentheses. So again, before I do anything else, let's clean up those parentheses by distributing. 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times a minus 1x is a minus 4x. Then we have minus 3x and plus 2x. There are lots of x terms over there, and I can combine them all just by thinking of them as integers. Minus 4, or negative 4, minus 3, plus 2. Let me pull down my 8 to begin with. So minus 4 minus 3 is negative 7. And then when I add 2 to that, I get a minus 5x. Just like in our previous examples, we're going to take our x terms and move them over to the left side. So I currently have a minus 5x. I'm going to add 5x to both sides. 2x plus 5x is 7x. Bring down the 12 equals 8. Now I'm going to move my constants, which are just the plain old integer numbers, over to the right side. This is now a two-step equation, so I would subtract 12, and I get 7x equals negative 4. And our last step is to divide by 7. Oh dear. Now, I'm not thinking that's correct, so I'm going to go back to my work and see what maybe I missed. Let me look at the right side. Distributing, 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times negative 1 is 4x. That looks fine. And then I combine my terms, negative 4, negative 3, positive 2. That looks good. All right, let's look at the right side, or the left side. 3 times x is 3x. Uh-oh. Did we do 3 times 12? We didn't. We just wrote down 12. So we have some fixing to do. So let's see. You get all that out of there. 3 times 12 is 36. Let's see if that changes things up and makes this look a little bit neater. So I'm going to go all the way to here and see what we can figure out here. Bring down the 36. This was an 8. So now I subtract 36 on both sides. Eight minus 36 is negative 28. Oh, I think this is going to look a lot better. Then I divide by 7 on both sides, and we get x equals negative 4. Super important that we verify, because look, we already found one mistake we made. Maybe there's more. Maybe this isn't the answer. Always make sure you verify. All right, so and if you're like me, then you want to know, like immediately, if you got the question right or not. So the way you do that is, again, by checking. And I know this looks complicated to check, but we're going to go ahead and plug things in. And you know what? I'm looking at it, and did I plug in negatives? Because we got negative 4. So let's see. This should be a negative 4. We're plugging in the negative 4. We're plugging in a negative 4, a negative 4, and a negative 4. So let's see how we do. We've got 3. Negative 4 plus 12 is positive 8. Minus negative 4. Minus negative 4 is really a negative times a negative, which is a positive 4. All right. On the right side, we've got 4. In parentheses, we have 2 minus a negative 4. Remember those integers. Keep, change, change. So 2 plus 4 is going to be 6. And then we have minus 3 times a minus 4. It's going to be a positive 12. And then we have 2 times a negative 4. 2 times a negative 4 is going to be negative 8. I still have some cleaning up here. Let's see. 3 times 8 is 24. Plus 4 is 28. On the other side, 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 12 minus 8 is 4. And that also gives me 28. I don't think you have an equation as complicated as this one on your upcoming test, but just in case, always make sure you verify, check your work.